We have 8 days to save America, just 8 days left, and it's time to pick a side. We're in a battle for the soul of our great nation, and the threat that we face in Kamala Harris, the Democrat Party, and the political establishment supporting her is an existential one to the fiber of our republic. Today's Democrat Party is not the party of the common man or the middle class, nor is it the party of former Democrat presidents like John F. Kennedy, who believed in protecting the American dream and fighting for the American people. The Democrat Party that Kamala is leading today has become the party of censorship, corruption, political violence, and even war. It has also become the party of limitless abortions on demand, puberty-blocking hormones for teenagers, inflammatory propaganda that inspired physical violence against Republicans, and of course, wide open borders. It's a fundamentally un-American party, if you ask me. And what's also completely un-American is how MSNBC is comparing President Trump to Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler, simply because he held a campaign rally at Madison Square Garden yesterday. The German-American Bund famously held a rally for Nazis in America back in the year 1939, and the media has used this fact to attack President Trump for also having a rally there, which is beyond disgusting for too many reasons to count, including the fact that he has Jewish grandchildren. It's also an incredibly lazy attack, might I add, which suggests that anyone who ever holds an event at Madison Square Garden is no different than Hitler himself, just because I guess a bunch of disgusting, evil Nazis once used the venue. I guess it's tainted for everybody forever. And clearly the Harris campaign is getting very desperate, extremely desperate, and they've run out of cards to play. They'll say and do whatever it takes to assassinate President Trump's character in the press, and at this rate, their rhetoric, which is extremely dangerous, could lead to another attempt on his life, although we pray to God that doesn't happen. But seriously, why else would they compare him to the most evil man in human history? The only logical explanation for these verbal attacks, which are beyond offensive and nasty and completely ahistorical, is that they're setting the stage for another assassination attempt against him without directly instructing anyone to do so. It's extremely sinister when you think about it, and it shows us all that today's top Democrats, the leaders of the party, have no morals whatsoever. The only thing they value is power. But that's not the case with President Trump, of course, because unlike Kamala Harris, he didn't have to bring celebrities with him in order to boost turnout. Trump's historic rally at Madison Square Garden in front of roughly 20,000 people was completely sold out. And more than 10,000 other people were turned away from the event since the venue reached its carrying capacity, forcing them to watch his speech from local bars outside of the venue. Many high-profile patriots delivered speeches there, including Mr. Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, Tulsi Gabbard, and even Vivek Ramaswamy. And it was refreshing to see the determination in everyone's eyes. Even House Speaker Mike Johnson made an appearance.
We're not in a battle this time just between two different political parties. It's much deeper than that. There's something much more fundamental going on. We're in a battle between two completely different visions for who we are as a nation and who we're going to be. We revere the founding principles. We revere our Judeo-Christian foundations. We revere individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility, free markets, human dignity, secure borders. But the other team doesn't anymore, my friends. This is not your father's Democratic Party. They are now full on to Marxism and socialism. They don't envision for us to save the founding principles and the greatest nation in the history of the world. Instead, what they envision for us is that we would be some sort of European-style Marxist borderless utopia. We all know that's a dangerous fool's errand. You know what's going to happen in 9 days? The American people are going to let their voices be heard. We are going to take this country back. We're going to restore the foundations, and we are truly going to make America great again. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
God bless the United States of America indeed. Say it again for everybody to hear. Being an American, it's a very special thing. And this election is our last chance to save this great country. And that brings us to these inspiring remarks from President Trump.
This is the city where I was born and raised, and this is the town that taught me that Americans can do anything when they want to. So no matter our differences, when we work together, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. From New York to Las Vegas, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Charlotte, from Atlanta to Detroit, this nation was built by generations of American patriots who gave everything they had for our rights, our future, and for our freedom. Through freezing cold winters and hot, scorching summers, through storms and setbacks and conflicts and danger, our American ancestors pushed onward, marched forward, and overcame every single obstacle that stood in their way. Together they crossed the oceans, settled a continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up those mighty skyscrapers, built the highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and launched American astronauts to the moon. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and 9 days from now, it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country.
In other words, this is our 1776 moment right here. Tyranny has taken root in this country, but we can stop it together. We can be exceptional again. We can be powerful again. And it looks like we're on the verge of glory once again.
After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in the history of the USA. With your help from now until Election Day, we will restore America's promise, we will put America first, and we will take back the nation that we all love. We bleed the same blood, we share the same home, and we salute the same great American flag. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in, we will never give up, we will never, ever back down, and we will never, ever, ever, ever surrender.
Joining us now to discuss is former law enforcement officer Mike Pugliese, the founder of the Pugliese Law Firm. Mike, thank you for being here today.
Riley, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm still in my epic Super Bowl weekend being a Patriot American high this weekend. And it started, of course, with the Joe Rogan interview that lasted 3 hours and President Trump covered. It's like I was sitting there with them and he just carried on. He's one of us. He talked about everything from the economy, immigration in that interview to the UFC fights and boxing. And then it carries over. We see it in the rally. You know, this is a new Republican Party, and only Donald Trump could have unified all the people, all the demographics, all the races, all the cultures, all the religions together in that rally in Madison Square Gardens. We saw it. You mentioned it. 20,000 on the inside, untold how many tens of thousands on the outside. And when you looked on the outside, you saw Asians, Latinos, whites, blacks, all hugging, holding together with a sea of red hats, symbolizing the new golden age, as President Trump puts it. You know, Tucker Carlson said it right. When would you see a Republican Party that not only unified the Republican Party, but we're seeing demographics of the Democrats drifting over from the old days that are wanting to be part of this movement, this MAGA movement. And Tucker Carlson said it right. When would you see him sandwiched between Elon Musk, the richest and probably the most brilliant man in the world, with Bobby Kennedy, who, you know, lifelong family of Democrats, come together under one house, one roof to take on this Marxist regime that is the new Democrat Party and come out with this new movement that's bringing America back. It's unbelievable. And Don Jr. even said it. It doesn't end with Donald Trump. We have a future. And who? J.D. Vance. And we all saw with J.D. Vance taking on the legacy media this weekend. Unbelievable. I'm going to tell you, I am on a high. of hope and trust in America again, and it's been brought on by Donald Trump. It is amazing, and you're right, Raleigh. In God we do trust, and that was the central theme. No longer do we look for these false gods and Greta Thunberg, as Don Jr. said, in worshiping climate change, and Dr. Fauci and the COVID lies and farces. You know, we look into America, and we trust in our God. We trust in our Creator, and by God, He's bringing us back, and He's given us hope. He's given us, and America's going to rise again. I was just on a high all weekend. I'm still on a high. You're right. We got to vote. We got 8 more days, and I'm giddy. I'm ready to go, and I'm more pumped up, not just for next Tuesday, but for our future. And it was a tremendous thing to be part of. And that's what Donald Trump, he has that magic. He can bring you in. If you're sitting in your living room, or if you've been at the rallies, you feel like you're part of it. He can point at anyone in that stance, and you feel like he's pointing at you. I'm sitting in my living room, and I feel like he's sitting there with me, talking to me, because he resonates with the American people. Kamala can't do that. Yeah, they can yell this fascist stuff and make up these lies about him. It's not working. It's not resonating. They're running in fear. They're running in desperation right now. But boy, we are on a high right now, and this man's got the momentum, and he's here for a purpose.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that purpose really is something that is really it's bigger than just saving America. It's really saving all of Western civilization and standing up for what is just. I mean, really, this is a redemption arc, I think, to borrow a phrase from Tucker Carlson, who was just brilliant, by the way, in the lead up to Trump's speech on Sunday. But I also think it's important because when I'm looking back at everything we've seen in this election season, it's been so completely crazy, unorthodox. And one of the big things is, of course, the assassination attempt. Donald J. Trump has acknowledged he shouldn't be here today. It was by divine intervention alone that he survived an assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. And I think that's because God is using him to save this country, to build these coalitions, to unite the American people, and really to save the Western world. So as far as I'm concerned, the Heavenly Father is using Donald J. Trump to save this country, and it's never been more clear to me. So as we're going into this election, I hope people can really just don't even mind the media noise. Just look at everything that's happened. We are building a movement. We are saving a country. And regardless of what happens in November, this is Donald J. Trump's legacy. Uniting this country, building a movement, expanding that movement, and giving us all the tools that we need to go into the future and to lead ourselves and really clean up the corruption in government, restore this country to its former glory, and really get back on top again. So he's done more for the average American than any other politician, certainly in my lifetime. And that's why I was so eager to cast my ballot for him a third time just the other day. I can't wait to see what he does upon entering office on day one. And he's been talking a lot about it. Let's get this border crisis under control. Let's get America healthy again, safe again, affordable again. His policy platform is so desperately needed right now, and it speaks to so many people, including former Democrats. So I do want to ask you about that. I mean, what do you think it says that we have Democrats like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK leaving the Democrat Party, joining Republicans, and saying that party is not your grandfather's Democrat Party? What do you make of that?
Well, they actually see. They're looking at logic. They understand that. They see where the Democratic Party, and really, I hate to even refer to it as the Democratic Party.
Yes, yeah.
It's a leftist Marxist party. That's what it is.
Yes.
And somewhat of a uniparty, including the old GOP establishment that doesn't like this power that Donald Trump generates. They can't handle it because they want to. Donald Trump brings change, good change. You mentioned it. Americans, they don't trust their government. They look, the government has become too big and too corrupt, and Americans don't trust it anymore. They don't want to be a part of it. They don't want to be governed by that anymore. And the people like Tulsi Gabbard and Robert Kennedy, they understand that. And yeah, we have our differences. You know, it's kind of funny, Donald Trump saying, I'm going to let Bobby Kennedy handle health, but I'm not going to let him get near the oil and gas. You know, it's kind of funny. We're going to have those differences as Americans, and we're going to come together, but we're going to discuss it. Not automatically, you know, turn the DOJ into lawfare against your political opponents. And people like Tulsi, people like Tucker Carlson, they see that. You know, the Robert Kennedys, they see that, and they don't want to be part of that. They want America to be governed by who? By Americans. We want to be able to freely pick our electors. We want to freely pick our politicians. And that slowly has been taken away from us through censorship. And they're coming together, and Donald Trump has created this new party, and it's absolutely destroying the establishment. Because what do they lose? It's not just about money. Yeah, they love the money, but they lose that power they have over us, that they can generate over us and control us. And Donald Trump exposed every aspect of that, and now we understand it. And now we don't, as Americans, we don't want that. And we want to have a say in that. And all that the left can do is point and say, he's a fascist. He's a fascist. He's a racist. He's a bigot. He's doing this. He's doing that. But when it comes down to pure facts, Donald Trump's the one of anti-big government. He wants to get government regulation out of your lives. He wants Americans to prosper by way of bringing corporations back into the American industry economy and create jobs. He wants that for us. He doesn't want to take that away and have the government totally control us. And that's what you see with the Biden-Harris administration. That's what she wants. That's what Obama wants. He wants to control everything. And these guys see this, and that's why I say we almost get not only are we getting a new Republican Party, but we're genuinely getting a new Democratic Party that's coming together and coalescing around Donald Trump, and we're actually creating a stronger party now. And it's going to be part. I'm 63, so it's going to be fun to see people like J.D. Vance, what they have to bring down the road down here in the future for us. Just absolutely amazing time to be an American. But listen, I don't want to let our guard down. Get out and vote. These guys, like Donald Trump, they're evil, they're vicious, and they can't be trusted, referring to the left. We don't know what they have plans. I understand this morning that Joe Biden ordered spikes to be put around the fences at the White House. What is he planning? You can't trust these people. They are desperate. They want to retain power, and they're going to retain it by any cost. Look at what we've witnessed for the past 4 years against Donald Trump.
Yes, absolutely. For them, clearly for the radical left, the ends justify the means, and they will do literally whatever it takes. And we need to understand that bigger picture threat. So I think that's what's happening is there's a great awakening happening. People are finally realizing the issue here is the U.S. government. They are waging war against the American people. They are draining us. They are flooding our country with illegal immigrants. They are spending us straight into financial oblivion, and it needs to stop. So Trump, as far as I'm concerned, is the only bulwark in Washington, D.C. against that overreaching, tyrannical, diseased government that is crushing this republic and the beautiful people in it who are really trying to fight back. And we need someone to fight on our behalf as well. And I know that Donald Trump can do it. He's done it before to great effect, and he can do it again. We just have to give him another chance. And that's why, as you just said, we have to go out and vote, vote, vote. I've already cast my ballot. I've made my plan. Everybody needs to do the same thing. And of course, we are out of time. But Mike, thank you so much for dropping by today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Riley.